Alright, welcome to SD Custom Designs. This is our first video I've done after my monetization. So we're really pleased and happy about that. I will show you. For a small channel like my own, I'm pretty thrilled to get to that 1K. And we'll show you here. Let's see what we can see here. Not really sure if we can see that, but 1,021 subscribers right there. So happy about that. So to you YouTubers, if you don't know about the dashboard that you can download to your tablet or to your phone, I highly recommend it. I didn't even think about that until I got so frustrated that I couldn't really check my stats on the phone, so on and so forth, while at intervals throughout the day. And download that app and you'll be all set. So we're really happy. Thank you, all my subscribers and future subscribers. Please, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for sure, and you'll get all the notices of new videos such as this. We're going to continue glue up on hexagon shells. So this is my very first attempt at making hexagon shells. I put this here to remind my viewers to monitor your humidity levels in your woodshop and your temperature. My humidity levels are at 50%, which is not too bad considering it's the Northeast and very dry. It's winter, almost spring, and 63 degrees down in here. So particularly when you're gluing up, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to try to move right along. And respect your time. So this is the first one we did. I jointed up with the Bessie clamps. So this episode is going to be called Painter's Tape versus Bessie clamps. A few bucks, lots of bucks, and two of these Bessie. Look up that episode. Everything you see in my shop, I probably did a review on one or two or three. So here's the unit, and it's rough. And so a subscriber, I want to thank you, subscriber, for making that recommendation. I did my homework prior to buying these clamps, and I saw several folks using painter's tape for these odd shapes that you see here. So we're going to do this one a second, okay? I'm probably going to forget because I didn't follow my own rules to number them. Put them back where they should go. That being said, I didn't really pay attention to the pieces when I cut them out, because this is just, like I said, it's a new endeavor for me to make hexagon shells. So really, I had to look it all up and see how that is done. You're going to cut your angles at a 30-degree angle. That's all you need to know, really. Get yourself some kind of gauge or a marking gauge and set it to 30 degrees. And then step over to your table saw or your chop box. It's really, there's several ways to do a thing. I ended up working with my I really need to move that forward a little bit. I ended up, I'm going to come back, just make sure you see what I'm saying, everything is rolling. Can't tell you how many times I would walk away and whoops. So this here is the Bessie strap system, and I ordered these separately that you slip on because they have adjustable angles. Okay? So they're going to go ahead and adjust to that 30-degree angle. And so look up that episode. You can watch me fumble through it. I've had subscribers tell me, hey, why don't you practice? There's a big reason for that. First of all, I really don't care about being perfect. Because if we'll be honest, in our wood shops, we're not perfect. We get better at what we do. But some have been doing this much longer than others. So, you know, you're going to have that level of comfort. But there you go. So look up that episode where we did our very first one. That's the one I just showed you. And you can watch me fumble through using that the first time. So look at that. I'm probably going to need that. All right. So essentially, I suspect that the painter's tape is going to be the better idea for this project. I really do. That being said, I haven't used the painter's tape yet. We'll see, but I suspect it's going to be a little bit easier. I also suspect that these clamps are going to be better used or better fulfill the task at hand, depending upon what it is you're clamping up. All right. So this does take some fiddling. First thing I did ahead of time is to get a rough idea where I will be placing these corner brackets, what we're calling them. Okay, and once you get them set, I don't want to have this, I want this in the middle. So having set them and then moved them and hung them up and so on and so forth, they're not exactly perfect. So that's the dealio with these, is, you know, you have to fiddle a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll take up the slack on the straps by pushing these clamps in here like so. I'm going to pull it in, okay? And ahead of time, you know, you're going to want to turn this knob so it gives you the right amount of tension that you're going to need. Okay, and I'm going to strap that like so. All right, now I'm going to start clamping. Admittedly, there's a lot of setup to this. You just don't throw them on. At least at this point, that's not what my experience is, because I'm a newbie at this. Might help if I move those out of the way. See a little bit more. All right, so I tighten it up a little bit. That allows me to move them without everything going all over the place. All right. So now we'll tighten it up a little bit more. What I'm going to do is tighten it up and then loosen it again. I want to make sure that it's going to give me the clamping power that I expect. Okay. And you'll know, you know, by looking at the bottom, how much more clamping power you're going to have. That's why you should, ahead of time, set this up like so. I'm feeling like that's pretty stiff. It's more than enough clamping power. And it's right there at the edge with a little bit to give. All right, now we'll take the next one and set them right on top, like so, and repeat the process. So I want to thank all my subscribers. Through the years, I've had my channel not really that long, since 2000, I believe it's 14, and yep, 2014. I'll go ahead and loosen this up. And really, I've just not been in a hurry to get to 1K. I'm a QA software guy in the daytime. At nights and weekends, we are the Woodworker Warriors. That's probably a channel. I'm not that channel. I'm Steve Larkin, and we're SE Custom Designs. SE Custom Designs is the side business that I have, whereas I work with wood, and my lovely one makes things. She's a seamstress and does amazing things with food and health advisor, all these types of things. And So that's AC Custom Designs. My daughter, who's in graphics design, painstakingly burnt this into this piece of wood that I got out of Windham, New York, from a friend of mine. He's actually my best man many years ago when I got married, 1986. So, all right, I'm going to pull the slack a little bit more. And I want this to be in the center. Okay. Now I'm going to lock it down, lock the two sides down, red levers. Reevaluate. I'm going to start turning it and putting some pressure on. And put them back in the center. So naturally, if I were doing production, I would probably have this guy already clamped up, glued and clamped up. So there you go. Maybe you can let me know what systems you all use out there for clamping these odd shapes like this. Okay, see here? All right, now that it's a little bit tight, now I can lift them up like so to the top. Okay, and then we'll fine tune them to the middle. Looking good. Okay, we do all that only to loosen them again. But at least now we have them where they should be. So I'm going to loosen the clamp, let it drop. Loosen the bottom one. Enough so I can get the boards out, right? There we go. Now I can get the boards out and I'll start putting the glue on. I have my water here. Let's move this over here. I keep my water by a heater so that I can blow the humidity into the shop. So I try to keep a bucket of a pail of water. Like I said, the humidity is pretty important, isn't it? This is a Rockler, penterockler.com. Oh, it's a patent, sorry. I didn't eat my dinner yet. It's a gluing stick, which is really nice. Convenient to put the glue on. And this is a glue bot. I have the big one, and I have a smaller one. So that makes putting on glue that easy. And this that easy to spread out. So, all right. So I will tell you that when I've already used the clamps once already, and wiping the glue off when it's wet is important, right? Well, I couldn't get at the glue under the clamps or close to the clamps, and therefore it made it quite tricky, didn't it? So try to do this as quickly as I can. I have a feeling that painter's tape is going to be the winner. I keep saying that. I really don't know yet. But certainly the paint, you can tell I'm hungry. Getting the excess glue out will more than likely be a lot easier. Okay. There we go. We'll try to move right along here. Glue. So there's the question of how much glue is enough. I tend to put on more glue than I need. I don't want the experience of not enough glue. That's not a thing I want when I have product, the finished product, out to the customer, and I didn't put enough glue on, so hey, it's falling apart. That's not what I'm looking for. All right. I want to give a shout out to my friend Barney, Barney's Woodshop in the UK. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Barney tends to relax a little bit through the winter. For one, I don't think you'll mind me saying this, and for giving this information you've given it. It's cold out in your shop. And my shop just happens to be 2/3 of my basement. So it is tough to heat it up though, when it's really, really cold out. I'll give you that. I got to turn my oil on, the oil heat, and then I have to keep this little heater over here on, as I explained before, by the pail of water. So, all right, we got one more board. Put glue on. I'm excited. Very exciting to get near the end of a project. One particular project I just finished up this in 2020, but I worked on it mainly through 2019. Is the super awesome office table, coffee table, where a business was bought out, but they already made their footprint in the world with regulatory compliance. And I'm 17 years now with both that company and the new company, but they had me make a coffee table for their glass sign. All right, now I'm going to stop talking because I want to make sure that I don't have to rearrange this too much. Okay, try to put this all back into place. Like I said, this is still new to me, so you know, it just doesn't flow quickly for me. It's okay. All right. It's probably one of those instances where you're not going to want to use Gorilla Glue. Yeah, because that sets up in what, 15 minutes, I believe. So, yeah, this is proving to be a challenge to take the pieces out of their holding pattern, the clamps, and get it back again. Just because I'm a little bit of a novice when it comes to this. These types of things, the hexagon shells. So yeah, this is really, really clumsy work right here. Wondering if I should have just took the clamps off altogether. There we go. All right. That's what I mean about doing things in real time. You get to see what it's like to work with these things. If you're new, if you're thinking about buying these, the Bessie strap system here, a little bit of a learning curve, getting to know how to use them. Not doing too bad, my friends. Not too bad. All right, I'm going to start putting some pressure on the bottom clamp. All right. Put some pressure on what's going to be at the top. Of course, I recommend that you have a flat surface to put your pieces on. I have a piece of oak, 1/4-inch oak plyboard, maybe it's 1/8 inch, and that's sitting on top of my wood bench, of course. highly recommending you put your tools on wheels. Put your tools on wheels. You will not regret that decision. So, all right. Now we're getting to that critical point where you want to make sure that these are centered. So it clamps evenly. First thing I noticed is one of these guys here gets me every time. Well, this is only my second time. You got to watch them because they'll just move on you. So you got to make sure they're where they're supposed to be. That's what happens. Okay. All right. All the while, I'm thinking to myself, man, that glue is starting to set up, so I don't want to take too long. And once, as you know, once you start squeezing two pieces of wood together, the wood is going to start basically clamping up together. So I'm going to take some paper towels, and I'm really more concerned about getting the insides. Okay, because that would be tough, pretty tough to sand out now, wouldn't it? Get that glue out of there. So get it while it's wet. If you've never done anything like this before, you may just have to learn the hard way. I know I did. Glue is really does the job. The 2 points of contact where the wood comes together and ends up being stronger than the wood itself. It's amazing how that works. And I throw it on the ground. Start over. All right. Hopefully you're enjoying this. I've got 700 plus now videos. I've just been a busy person since 2014. And, well, there you go. All right. I just like to do the videos. Now I'm going to check it again. We're going to look a little closer. Do some more clamping here. See if there's any more squeeze out. Take a chant there and lift it up. See what's going on under here. Make sure that we're mostly okay. And we are. This guy here needs a little bit of. Let's loosen that up because I need to get him down. Loosen him up a little bit too. That's the thing about this is once you start squeezing it together, that's it, my friends. It starts to adhere. Okay. We're looking pretty good. That being said, I'm going to start wiping the outside as much as I can. As I said before, this is where I can't get under there so easily, the glue. But I certainly will get what I can get at. And I'm not terribly worried about it. I'm going to be able to sand that out. This is poplar wood, stronger than pine. So you do have to be careful of the glue leaving behind the shadows, that type of thing. But this type of thing, what is implied is a lot of sanding. That's for sure. Lots of sanding. Matter of fact, I sanding and finishing the work, you will hear Alex Snodgrass. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, there's the Syracuse, New York show coming up, March 20th. My lovely one's going to be coming with me this year. But I'm going to be spending the day with Mr. Bender, Chuck Bender, I believe it is. Please forgive me if I get the name wrong. But he's amazing with what he does. So is Mr. Snodgrass with the bandsaw. I don't know why I mentioned him, only that, I actually don't remember. But I'm glad I'm putting a little plug in for the woodworking show. I almost wore that t-shirt. I didn't want to get, I went to the Secaucus, New Jersey show last year. But I didn't want to get glue on that shirt. So here I am, just, I know that I can, this is now at his peak. There, this guy, I can go a little bit more on him. Not that I have to. All right. I'm going to give another look, and we're fine. Okay, you want to say that he, once again, it could be the placement of the, not exactly center maybe, and that is the case. He slipped. I didn't catch him, meaning he turned on me, and that's why it's not pulling together perfectly. That's the beauty here. I'm going to be able to, oops, that was a little bit too aggressive. A little too aggressive, my friends. Let's go ahead and put the pressure back on there, and then leave it. There's such a thing like in the painting world, when you're painting, I did that as a living many moons ago, that when you're touching up or when you're cutting in, at some point you just got to stop and follow up when you need to, when everything is dry. So you painters will know what I'm talking about. All right, listen, I'm happy with this. He is still not centered. I said I was happy. Now let's tighten it again. Lots of fiddling. Again, if I was doing this every day, then I would be fine. Oh, he's good now. I mean, now's the time you want to be critical. I think all clamping, anytime I'm clamping wood together, it is a challenge. Pieces want to slide all over the place. When I'm making a new series of bandsaw boxes, so drawers for my lovely one's sewing room, for some shelves, going for round 2, and I put 3 4x4s together. And one of the subscribers said, "Why are you bothering to use biscuits to join that?" And then another comment was, depending upon where you cut that shelf out, that biscuit may be an issue, my words. And both are valid. Both are valid comments. But specifically with the, yeah, I'm going to have to take my own words and stop. With putting the biscuits in, using the biscuit joiner. Look up that episode, how to use a biscuit joiner. Wood slides all over the place. Three 4x4s. Can you imagine what's going to happen? Biscuit join was the key for me. That was the ticket. All right, let's set this somewhere over here, and we're going to use the painter's tape. Okay. Again, I feel like I won't give away the names of the subscribers' comments unless you tell me I can. I will respect your privacy, for sure. I hope I'm still videoing. I am. Good. Yes, we did pull the plug, and we got a cheap camcorder, $265 or something like this. All right. let's do this. Let's grab these. And I'm just going by memory now of how one does this. Take the boards, slide them down. And I'm not too particularly picky as to what board meets what board, for the simple reason I lost track of the pieces when I cut them the first time. Okay, I don't have enough room here. Barely enough room. So just lay our pieces out like so. And well, of course, make sure they're flat. And then we will put the tape. Actually, that is not what you do. You have to put the thing together. We'll put them in order, and then we will put the tape on. We know what was going to happen if I did that. The tape was just going to rip. So, hey, it's just going to rip apart. So, we'll put this roughly where it should be. Okay. Make sure we have our tape ready. Go. And let's repeat the process of putting the glue on. All right, let's go. So these hexagon shells, my daughter wanted them and commissioned me actually to go ahead and make them. And yeah, I just said, just pay for the materials. And I'll be glad to learn how to make these things. Lo and behold, we did a Christmas elf thing where, whatever you want to call it, white elephant, where you pick name and draw names, and she was the lucky one. I got her name, so that was a no-brainer. Let's go ahead and just make these things for her. It's been a fun journey, let me tell you. Learning how to do a new thing is a lot of fun. Plenty of information out there, of course. Lots of channels. One thing I don't like about some channels, and I'm not here to knock channels, okay? But where they'll show you only so much, and then all of a sudden the whole thing is together. You move, they'll skip parts. When I made the super awesome coffee table, I skipped no parts. So you literally, you have the patience, watch all my videos. Until I get an editor one day and somebody who can do my videoing, it's just me. At any rate, so watch that series. We go over every step. I mean every step. You'll be able to build one yourself. If you ever contemplated making a coffee table that holds a 67-pound glass sign, or just a sheet of glass, you may want to watch that series. So I hope the subscriber, and again, I'm not going to give their name away. I respect privacy. If you're okay with me giving your name away, let me know, and then I'll give you the credit. But a subscriber said, "Hey, you should." I've seen others use painter's tape. All right, so I am. We're doing the Betsy clamps, telling you, I think this is probably going to be a lot easier. But again, the Bessie clamps are probably going to be the answer for other applications. It sounds a lot quieter in here. It's because my dryer just shut off. I guess my wood shop's in the basement. So, here we go. Starting to look like a hexagon shelf. Make sure we get everything lined up as best we can. And then we'll put the tape. We'll wrap it with tape. Now, I didn't watch somebody else's episode on how to do this specifically, but I got the idea anyways. Got the idea. I'm thinking it's probably a good idea to get that glue off before I put the tape on. Although the tape might not stick so good. So let's make sure that we wipe the glue off. Be very specific. Don't go too wide, in other words, right? I'm okay with that. Okay. Again, you'll spend hours and hours. Oh, I started to say something before. And that is, I'll tell the customer, you know, if you want to finish and sand and finish it with the stain or whatever, the paint, have at it. The price of the product is going to go way down. Way, way down. Of course, I don't have to get that stuff in the middle, but when I see glue, I don't want it to be on the project. All right, let's get the tape and start doing this. Okay. Imagine that what I want to do is like a hinge, the hinge concepts.